Hello, I'm Paul Pluta. Welcome to the Archie Luxury Paul Pluta channel. Today I'm doing paid reviews because I don't do shit for free. Remember, it's $20 US for a paid review, and some very kind people, they send me a little bit more, which, phew, I gotta be honest with you, it fucking helps because it's hard making money on YouTube. It's not an easy way to make a living. I tell you what, fuck, it's expensive to live in the Western world. It's very, very expensive. And if it wasn't for the good-natured people out there, I'd fucking have to get a job. So this is this is a request that's come in from Ben. Ben is seeking some sub advice. So remember, like, subscribe, tell your fuckhead friends, and don't forget, look in the description of this video for 10 ways, fuckers, you can keep me full-time on YouTube. You could organize a telephone call. I give consulting, $50 US an hour consulting. You can buy merchandise. I got all sorts of ways you can help me out. Okay, fuckers, let's go. Hi Arch, PayPal receipt enclosed. Hopefully the funds have cleared in your account. Thanks, mate. Love your work. Regards, Ben. Mate, fantastic show. Love your whoring adventures and the watch videos. Keep up the good work. I'm a military officer, RAAF, that's the Royal Air Force in Australia, residing in Melbourne. I currently own a Tudor Black Bay. That's the black with the ETA movement, and am now on the hunt for my next watch, a black ceramic sub. Date or no date, I'm not overly fussy. I'd prefer to buy new, as the watch will be a keeper, and there doesn't seem to be much of a price difference between new and second hand. The Tudor I may flip down the track after I have it serviced and repair a slight ding on the bezel. Not sure what I would replace it with, but I do like the Ingenua and Royal Oak. Obviously, all the ADs have a waiting list for their subs, but I've seen a few pieces advertised by what I would assume to be grey market dealers. I'd love to get my hands on a sub soon, and any advice on where to buy, what to buy, date or no date, what to look out for would be appreciated. I did have a look at Kenny's website and noticed he has a 2016 model without original box. Email sent to inquire. $50 donation sent to the PayPal account as payment for entertainment services rendered over the years. Besides, you don't do shit for free, nor should you. I agree, the world is full of nasty cunts. Cheers, Arch. Best regards, Ben. And he says, no video required, mate, just your expert advice. Well, Ben, we'll upgrade you to a video. I think you'd enjoy this video. So let's have a talk about it. Okay, now first, a few things there. You're in Melbourne, that's great. Melbourne has many, many good vintage dealers there. You've got European Watch Co., The Watch Gallery. There's if you go into the CBD of Melbourne, there's quite a few wristwatch dealers, and I gotta be honest with you, they're all pretty good. They're pretty good dealers. So if I were you, I would start having a look on the websites. Look, I would, if you want to buy a new one, okay, let's hypothetically, if you want to buy a new one, basically your best thing to do is to see, I honestly I don't like that whole boutique new experience. There's a number of good dealers there. There's now Kenny Nguyen in America. Check the price out, see what it is all up. That's not a bad thing at all. There's some really, Melbourne's got some really great dealers. You've got great dealers there. And there's always a little bit of haggle room if you got cash. You got cash. Personally, I would tend to go for the non-ceramic. I reckon that's a better investment potential. I think the sweet spot in that type of genre is the pre-ceramic Sea Dweller. 40 mil that's a fantastic watch. I think they've got investment potential, but okay, you want a newish piece, I understand, that's okay. Date or no date, look, I think they're both really cool. The date or the no date, I gotta tell you, in all honesty there, if I was buying one new, okay, let's just say hypothetically, if I was going in and buying one new, I'd probably go for the date, okay? I would probably go for the date version, okay? That's just my opinion there. I'd probably go for the date. I would say, in all honesty, there is, I mean, this shortage that the Aussie dealers have, it's, I gotta be honest with you, they, I find it very hard to believe these things are in shortage. I mean, they're a top-selling Rolex, and now I would also, with your Tudor, I would be keeping the Tudor. I reckon that's a great second watch to complement the Submariner, and it's a really cool piece. The Tudor is great. ETA movement, you know, you're not going to have exorbitant service costs on it. Look, I don't know if I'd be going through an IWC Ingenua. That's quite a fucking expensive piece. And the Royal Oak, ooh, fuck. Do you have any idea what that fucking thing costs to service? They're extremely delicate. Extremely delicate. I would tend to say, don't put the Tudor down. The Tudor's a great watch. The Sub is a great watch. I reckon that's a great pair. The Tudor and the Sub. You've got one for work, and you got one as your really nice. I mean, let's be honest there. These Submariner, new Rolex Submariners, fuck, they ain't so fucking cheap. They ain't that fucking affordable. So, I think you should be very, very happy to, I think you should be very happy to buy one. That's my own opinion there. I think you should be very happy to have a Submariner. I mean, these Royal Oaks, it's all a bit of a wank, really. I mean, to have a Submariner is a great achievement. They're fucking expensive, so don't kind of dish that out. I would say, look, you've got to have a good friend of mine. I think you've got to go into the stores and say, hey, I want to buy a Rolex Submariner. I'd go for the date, okay? Two-tone. Look, you've got to haggle a bit, okay? I know people have gone into Sydney. I got a friend of mine who got 15% off a two-tone bluesy. 15%, I know, so what? But it's better than nothing. You should be able to buy the Sub. 5% discount. If you're not using credit card, you're saving 3%. Come on. Okay, if you're paying cash, you should get a 3% discount, shouldn't you? So I would try and haggle. I just go in and say, hey, don't be a smart ass. Just say, hey, look, I really want to buy a Rolex Submariner. I got cash, not a time waster. I want to buy one. Can you do me a bit of a deal? I know there's not a huge margin. Well, there is actually a really good margin. I know there's not a lot of wriggle room, but what can you do for me? You're bound to get 5%. 5%. And if you are going overseas, you may be able to get the GST back. That depends if you want to do that. I can't say yes or no to that because, you know, you claim the tax back. Technically, you can leave the country, but then you've got to declare it when you come back in. Bit of a minefield there. Probably best not to do that. Just hassle. You don't want fucking hassle. But I would say, realistically, there's no reason why you shouldn't get a few points off. Just maybe go in there and say, hey, I want to buy a Submariner. I've got cash. Take your 10,000 with you and say, hey, what can we do? Go and see 3 dealers in Melbourne, you know. Monards, there's quite a few Rolex dealers in Melbourne there. So Shawnee European Watch Co. Very, very good. Very good. There's some really good dealers in Melbourne. So I think myself there, look, you can't really go wrong. Rolex Submariner, it's bulletproof, okay? You're asking the question there, should you go date or no date? Look, bulletproof. That watch is amazing. I would tend to say I'd keep the Tudor. These bloody Ingenua and a Royal Oak, they're frightening. Nothing wrong with having the Tudor and the Rolex. It's something to be very proud of there. So you've seen a few with some grey dealers. Nothing wrong with grey dealers. I love grey dealers. Again, with grey dealers, you got cash, no mucking around. Some of them, you know, you could haggle a bit more than others. Say, hey, what do you got? That's what I'd be doing. So Ben, there is no bad decision. Buying a Rolex Submariner, no date or date, they are bulletproof. That's a great watch. Great values on that piece there. Man, what a fantastic piece to have. A Rolex Sub. Beautiful. That's going to last you a lifetime. So, well done. Thank you, Ben, for being a fan. And keep watching the Archie Luxury channel.
We specialize here in pre-owned Rolex watches. Rolex watch is a very special timepiece, and we always do the servicing exactly as factory specifications. We buy a pre-owned piece and we put it into brand new condition. We have Rolex certified technicians working on that. We completely disassemble the piece. We adjust and polish and change every single part of the watch.
You have to have certified watchmakers that know what they're doing. If you have an expensive car, you're just not going to bring it to any mechanic that doesn't know what they're doing.
You spend $5,000, it's like if you put money in the safe deposit box. And 1 or 2 years from now, you will keep having your $5,000. We have to spend a lot of money to get all this equipment together, but makes me feel I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It's not a question of money, it's my passion.
Jewelers on time, simply the best.